Hi there, welcome to Wyckoff Technical Analysis session for Casper. If you're new to my sessions, these are the key takeaways you can expect. I'll cover the Wyckoff stages for both the weekly and daily time frames for Casper, and also I'll touch on the key price levels where Casper will find support or resistance. Finally, any breakout time point that the charts are indicating to us. So let's start with the weekly. Here in the weekly chart, we see the price continues to travel towards this test direction that we said have a higher chance to happen compared to going up for a sign of strength. And this picture hasn't changed. So even this week, the price continue to get rejected by the ceiling of this downward trend box, this channel box over here. And as long as it doesn't break above this box, which it had a chance back in the week of October 10th or even the week after, but then those two never happened. And then eventually we're at the current point where it's pointing to somewhere near mid-December. When we get to the daily chart, we'll see what exact date that looks like. So as of now, it looks like it's going to get to a level near the selling climax we had back in October 2024. Currently, it's trying to stay above the test level we had in early April. So that's where somewhere near 0.0075. Currently, we are 0.0076. Note that we haven't tested lower, but it's close enough to the point back in April. So the test or the journey towards this deeper test, or we can call that a spring even, is still continuing. Because when it really hits below this white line, then we can call that a spring in terms of Wyckoff terminology. Okay, so that's the big picture, but before getting to the daily, let's take a look at the Bollinger Band Keltner squeeze. Currently, the indicator is showing us a squeeze is on. Actually, this mini broken piece, I would still consider that a continuous squeeze. So when a squeeze happens, what comes after is there would be bigger price movements. So sometimes it swing up and then came down. Sometimes it swing to the downside and just to bounce a little. So it doesn't show us which side it's going to swing first, but it's going to tell us something bigger than the latest price range is going to happen, and we're still within that range. So any point from now onwards, there would be a bigger price swing. Let's get to the daily now, just to check the same indicator. Here, the squeeze again for daily is on, and this downtrend has been continuing. So it's a downward moving squeeze. If you exclude some bigger movements that kind of break the squeeze, we're technically in a downward consolidation period. Let's put it this way. So back to our drawings. Here, we talk about a potential spring going to happen, and indeed it's happening in the daily chart. So we can take away this question mark. The question mark, however, is that how deep, how low would that be? So what happened on the 10th indicated that there is a chance for the price to get to as low as that level, 0.007. So currently the price, it's getting very close. So what happened yesterday was when the price got to 0.0074, there was sufficient buying to push the price back to the close. But then, today we're still struggling around that. So you may ask what that low point was yesterday. It's exactly, if I draw a line over here, it's exactly close to where I talked about in the very beginning. The spring we had half a year ago, or like the thing that I put into the title of the video. Okay, that was the level we had in April. Okay, so we are back to that point if this line holds and eventually the price breaks outside of that area, let's align the two readings and extend the line a little bit further so it cuts across the channel ceiling. So that's where I want to get to, because that's going to tell us by November 27th we see this triangle, right? If the price continues this horizontal trading, doesn't go below this white support, doesn't go above this orange resistance, then eventually when we get closer to the 4th week of November, a breakout event would happen. Remember, breakout doesn't have to wait till that point, it can break out sooner. Alright? However, the significance of that is if it breaks to the upside, it basically means this downtrend that started since mid-late July is over. Okay, whether it's going to trade sideways and then eventually come down, or sideways eventually go up, or sideways for a prolonged period of time, it still means this downtrend is done. Okay, so that's what this breakout to the upside is telling us. But if it continues towards the downside, if it breaks below this white support line, that means we are going to a level that's even lower than what we had in April. But we have been to that point back in November in 2024. So almost exactly a year ago, like Casper was at that level. So don't be surprised if the price really comes down to that level we were at exactly 12 months ago. Okay, so what to expect next then? Hopefully we'll see a sign of strength, but that's only, like, as of this moment, of a lower chance, or back of last point of support after that. What's more likely would be like the spring to get even lower, and then there would be subsequent tests. So further tests before the price can eventually go up. Alright, so it can continue its lowest point to its lowest point, bounce up maybe to the red key level, and then come back down for another test. So that was what happened sometime in April, and then eventually it goes back up, and that can happen in similar sense. Okay, so the sign of strength we had back in July was at around this level of 13 cents 60 roughly. Alright, so that's the picture for Casper. While it's trying to still continue its exploration towards the actual bottom, we have some time point indication showing us that when we get closer to the 3rd week of November, there is a potential opportunity for the big guys, the whales, composite man, or whatever terminology you want to name, the powerful people that can move the market, to show us what direction Casper is going to head to by then. So trade safe. See you tomorrow.